தற்போது இந்தியா டுடே மாநாட்டில் நடிகர் கமல்ஹாசன் பேசி வருகிறார். நேரலையை பார்க்கலாம்.
The character, it's not that, but if it is very necessary for a character, you're trying to make a statement, I will do it, perhaps.
Okay. You know, coming about actors, you see, you have always held three very important actors as a benchmark. One was Charlie Chaplin, of course, and then there was Shivaji Ganeshan, and you also had great regard for Dilip Kumar, Yusuf Karabi. Now, all these three are so distinctly different, you know, and how did you pick them up, these three very distinctly different characters?
They are people who are, whatever kind of acting they did, they are ahead of their times. For even Shivaji Saab, he comes from an environment, how to escape that captivity that you are in because of your peer pressure. His peers were Tyagaraja Bahadur, who sang 14 times in a film and said very little dialogues.
Okay.
And was a bland-looking gentleman who would come and you only know his internal emotions through the songs. Otherwise, you don't know whether he's sad or happy.
Right.
Amma, avladhaan irukum tone. Andha mari, I'm sorry. So, in that sense, with that kind of environment, to go totally away from that and sort of be inspired by Hollywood, a language he didn't even speak properly. I was very surprised when I asked him that little sort of tremor while he walked, you know,
yes.
Like there's a little. I said, that's very unique, very Western. Where did you get that? Of all the names he said, I thought he would say this actor, that actor. He said Orson Welles. Because he says he was somewhat built like me.
Right.
And I liked it, what he did with his body.
Yes.
And I changed it to my style, and he did. He even tried walking like Yul Brynner in one film.
Okay.
I didn't like it. But that's the kind of thing. And he no schooling, nothing. And I admired the way that he escaped his environment and became something else.
Right.
I'm talking about this Shivaji Saab of 50s and 60s.
Right.
That unique thing.
No doubt about it, yeah.
And about Dilip Saab, I had the great opportunity of meeting him. I used to go and kiss his hand, and like the film Godfather, I used to kneel and kiss his hand. And after Nayakan, he said, he's the Godfather and he's kissing my hand like Godfather. And I still try and meet him.
Right.
So I was sitting with him, and somebody was trying to tell him that Kamal Hassan thinks that the acting that you did 40 years back is still being attempted
Today.
by many today, in spite of the commercial pressures.
Right.
And he said it loud, and he came to me, everyone thinks I'm also deaf. I'm only old, he said. I said, he's very sharp. And then again he repeated, I said, yeah, I got it. People are trying to do it now. But why? He said to me. That's all he said. That's a kind of, progress that he has in his mind.
That is true.
He himself thinks that's old-fashioned. He's gone ahead of Dilip Kumar's acting in his mind.
Of the 60s, that's true.
Of the 60s.
Yes.
And these are truly trendsetters. And Dilip Saab is, and not that he didn't get his due. I mean, he is Dilip Saab.
Undoubtedly a legend. Yeah.
But still, I feel that another generation doesn't really know his merit.
Real worth.
He's just an old film actor.
True. You see, in your days, as you were talking about Dilip Saab, you were in Bombay and you tried, entering into the Bombay film industry. You became great friends with people like Rishi Kapoor and Sanjeev Bhai, Hari Bhai, you call him. Right? Now, despite, and Amitabh Saab, you worked with him also. Now, having worked with these great stalwarts in Hindi cinema, somehow you didn't pursue the Bombay dream further. You decided to come back to Tamil cinema. Why?
Those times were like that. And one, I was a poorer cousin of the Hindi cinema, so I had to do my own laundry and stuff like that. They were really spoiled and rich, and they could make one film for 2.5 years and do 6 films at a time.
கிண்டியில் நடைபெற்று வரும் இந்தியா டுடே மாநாட்டில் நடிகர் கமல்ஹாசன் தற்போது கலந்துரையாடி வருகிறார். அந்த நேரடி காட்சிகளை நாம் பார்த்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அப்போது பேசியவர் நடிகர் திலகம், சிவாஜி கணேசன், திலீப் போன்ற முக்கிய பிரபலங்கள் குறித்து பேசி வருகிறார். அவர்களுடனான தனது நினைவலைகளையும் அவர் பகிர்ந்து கொண்டு வருகிறார்.
So he said, 200 kilo chahiye. हाँ, लंबा आदमी है. And then we started enjoying, and then he said, he added things like his brother will have to come from Nepal. तब तक हमारा साहब सड़ेंगे क्या?
கிண்டியில் தற்போது நடைபெற்று வரும் இந்தியா டுடே மாநாட்டில் மீடியா பார்ட்னராக புதிய தலைமுறை இருக்கிறது என்பது குறிப்பிடத்தக்கது.
And then I even added a young nurse passing by, and he says, hi, he says, and he kept improvising it, and we were all laughing, and it turned out to be a fantastic scene. When he comes back after giving the orders for flower, ice, and everything, he comes and finds that this guy is sitting up and talking, the patient for whom he ordered all the... Then he just rolls his eyes and then tells in the phone, hey, sub cancel kar. And then he walks out. And it worked out wonderfully well. It's there in the Tamil film. The way Omji sort of expanded it was so good. Everybody was laughing. Then he came to me and said, Kamalji, can I say that I added those 2 dialogues? I said, damn it, go and tell them you wrote the same. But likha to nahi. I said, it doesn't mean that putting pen to paper doesn't venerate it. Right. Great artists like you can write reams in just 2 sentences or an expression. So that is your scene. Go tell them that you wrote it.
Fantastic. You're an amazing actor. Now, you see, there is another problem with your performances today, is that whatever you do, whatever roles you take up, you have to start thinking how many people are out there who's going to bash you for it. You see, you did that. You had a horrible experience with a film like Vishwarupam, and now you are going to do a film called Subhash Naidu. Do you think that somebody is going to jump out?
It's unbelievable. Actually, somebody has. Oh. Because you are saying Subhash to only Naidus. What about the other communities? Can you believe it? They really did. So I'm quite used to it. It becomes like a serio-comic interlude between filmmaking. Because I don't know whether to take them seriously and work towards it or just ignore them. Because ignoring them seems to anger them more.
Right.
So it's a sort of a palaver that has to continue. And I think it's quite silly because it's become like Twitter account. Anybody can say anything. You can speak to Obama directly.
Right.
And say stuff that you would never could say. So that's become the order of the day. So everybody wants to say. There was a film called Vasool Raja MBBS. I think it translates into almost any language. And so there was the medical council who said, we are offended because you're calling us collectors of money. I just said, we are not going to change the title. Now the film is released. They can't stop it.
Right.
I'm asking, how many doctors do not do paisa vasool? I am an actor. I charge money. If they call me a Vasool Raja, I'm proud of it.
Right.
So don't give me this hypocritic thing. This is where all this criticism comes from. This film, Vishwarupam, for that matter, everyone said it's an anti-Muslim film. It is not. Definitely the only good guy in that film, great guy in the film, is the Indian Muslim.
Yes.
The bad guys are maybe Muslims or non-Muslims, but they are not from India.
Right.
So I don't know how they took offense for it. Hey Ram, there's a congresswoman who said that this film has to be banned. She didn't even see the film. It's an assumption because it's a medium. You could ride without a ticket in this bus.
It's a soft target which can never jump back on you.
You can take a ride. It's a nice vehicle to take a ride on.
True.
So they do it, and I think people also now are aware that legitimate grievances and faults, what we call gile-shikwe. They know the difference now.
You know, being an actor for so many, you know, from your almost from the 5th year, and then you started acting around 17, at the age of 17. And then by the time you have, you know, moved from that to the 1981, you already finished 100 films, you know. And at that moment, you took a decision that you're going to become a producer, you know. And you were just 27 at that. Why would an actor want to become a producer?
Because he had good guidance. I wanted to become a producer when I was 21. And they said, nobody will even listen to you. So don't think of directing, don't think of... I had great advisors and friends who believed in me, like late Mr. Arshi Sakti, Mr. KB.
Yes.
My own brothers. They all treated me like a kid brother, and they were very concerned for me. So it was actually holding back that long. Right. And I turned producer when I was 25, actually.
Okay. But you see, to be a producer, it virtually means riding a mad horse, you know, because people are putting money on you, not as an actor, but also as a producer. You are having two responsibilities to play.
Anyway, it's a mad horse. But imagine somebody sitting behind you holding the reins. So I would rather hold the reins. That's what I thought. And in those times, now we have producers who know the medium. It's not just bags of money they come with. Some of the producers know actually the story. They get involved. For example, even way back, producer of Purnodaya.
கிண்டியில் நடைபெற்று வரும் இந்தியா டுடே மாநாட்டில் நடிகர் கமல்ஹாசன் தற்போது கலந்துரையாடி வருகிறார். அந்த நேரடி காட்சிகளை நாம் பார்த்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அப்போது பேசியவர் தன்னுடைய திரைத்துறை அனுபவங்களை பகிர்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார். ஜல்லிக்கட்டுக்கு ஆதரவாக சில கருத்துக்களையும் அவர் முன்வைத்து பேசி வருகிறார். தமிழகத்தில் நடைபெறும் இந்த இந்தியா டுடே ஊடக மாநாட்டில் மீடியா பார்ட்னராக புதிய தலைமுறை இருப்பது குறிப்பிடத்தக்கது.